on another day for this Being in Sync 366 video series. It's Christmas here in California, but you know, it's just another day, 24 hours. So if you are not celebrating Christmas, it's just 24 hours, so it's okay. We're just gonna wait about 5 minutes, 5 minutes, and we'll see who shows up on this Christmas holiday. And today we're talking about part 5 in expanding consciousness, and we're talking about life experience. Why? Why is it important to talk about life experience? Well, because every life experience has a purpose. Hello, South African boys. Merry Christmas to you. It's been a while. Good to see you here. Today we're talking about life experiences. This one's going to be a good one. It's really critical to expanding consciousness, you know. Learning, growing, they're not the same thing if we're not getting all the lessons. Hello, 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 hello. Good to see you all here, Zoya. And who is that? Lai Chu, Merry Christmas. I just realized how dirty my glasses are. Merry Christmas, good to see you here. Happy holidays, everybody. We're going to be talking about one of the easiest ways that you can expand in consciousness. And yet, so many people miss this. So first of all, let me just say, you know, every day I come on here, I'm talking about the natural laws. These are practices and principles in which we align to the law of one. That's one mission of love, oneness, unity, consciousness. Hey, Oliver, good to see you here. You were in a different province. Oh, okay. Well, this is part 5, South African boys, for expanding consciousness. They're all different aspects what you can expand in consciousness. But today is really, we're talking about experiences, life experiences. Hi, Jono. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy everything, you know? Happy to life. Life is an opportunity every single day to learn, grow, expand in consciousness. Whether you have a family that you celebrate with or you don't. It's about understanding that we're here, we're alive, and we are here to grow, learn, and expand. Hi, Eric. Good to see you. Oh, thanks so much, Jono. Good to see you here again, Zoya. Just going to wait the 5 minutes before I go deep into experiences and how to leverage your experiences. Good, bad, doesn't matter. So, you know, every experience that we have is an opportunity, and it's only an opportunity if we're leveraging it. Hey, good to see you, everybody. Thank you for joining here. There's a few people joining that have never been here. My name's Kiana Sage. I guide people to peace through this process called energy psychology. This is the alignment of physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies through understanding, knowing that patterns are fundamental to becoming congruent and aligned within. If we don't understand how patterns are important to us, then we're missing the alignment of both physical, mental, and spiritual. So it's really important to understand that there are laws, the natural laws that govern all energy, that govern all patterns. And so today we're talking about experiences, learning from life experiences. So one thing that I've noticed, and I touched on this a little bit yesterday with somebody's asking you to see Ra. Ra is in the other room. She hurt her eye. She cut her cornea, so she's got like a little hood on right now. Anyways, okay, so I'm going to talk about the actual topic today, about experiences. So when we have experiences, when we do not fully learn our lessons, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual lessons, those patterns continue to replicate, because that's what patterns do, is they just continue to do what they do until we do a pattern interrupt or we learn all of the lessons. And when I say learning the lessons, you want to integrate them. Now, I do this every day, But most people don't realize that having an insight or an awareness, that is not learning. Writing something down doesn't mean you've learned it in all ways. You want to take your lessons and learn them on all ways. So I'll show you really simply how I do this all the time. So today it's Christmas, it's the end of the year, and I was thinking about friendships. And I thought, well, what were my lessons for friendships throughout the year? And then I thought, well, I intuit, and I offer you to do that. How many lessons do you have to learn about friendships? For me, this year, it was 5. And did I have a big upheaval in friendships? No, but I want to learn everything I possibly can, because the patterns that are uncomfortable, the patterns that cause pain will always repeat if you don't become consciously aware of what the lessons are. So one of the simple lessons that I learned about friendships is that, if you want to be friends with somebody, ask them to be your friend. I did that for the first time in my entire life this year. And I had seen somebody in a meditation group, but because it was a meditation space, you don't really talk. But we had waved, it's silent. So you wave and say hello, whatever, say goodbye, but you don't really talk. But this person had an energy, a vibrancy about them. And I thought, wow, this person, she's got such a nice vibe. I wasn't hitting on her. I wasn't looking at doing anything like that. I was just like, she's so nice. And it just never worked out that we exchanged information. Lo and behold, I saw her post something beautiful on social media to where I was able to see it, which we weren't friends, so normally I wouldn't. It was a public thing. And so I messaged her, say, hey, remember me from the group? And we've become really good friends. I would now say she's like one of my good friends, somebody who I admire, respect, have a high regard for. And it all started with me asking her to be my friend. We connected. I called her. I was like, hey, you seem like a really neat person. Would you like to be friends? Because we don't have any of the same social circles, but we do have some commonalities. And after we talked on the phone, I was just like, I know this sounds really weird, but do you want to be friends? And she'd never had anybody ask her to be friends. So it was like a nice thing. We both got to learn about friendship when you're intentional. Like that, we were both intentional. I asked, she received, we communicated, and we proactively got to know each other and become good friends over the last year. And that came from initiating. So invite people to be your friend if you want to be a friend. Be intentional. Don't just assume your friendships are going to grow and evolve throughout time without you being intentional. So life experiences happen. Some of them happen through pain. Sometimes you have friendships that cause a lot of discord and pain. Maybe they didn't accept you. Maybe they didn't even like you, but they were using you. Those are agreements that people go into without conscious awareness. And when you do a review on, let's just say, friendships, you actually learn about what's important for you. What do you need to learn from friendships? Some of you have very painful lessons to be learned about friendships. One, you can't force them, you can't fake them, but people try all the time. So learning from your life experiences is critical to expanding consciousness and changing the patterns of your life. Because life is not just about a journey. The journey is about really embodying the lessons and expanding. You want to take every life experience. And I would offer to South African boys, if you're still here, you have a lot of lessons from, because he's been honest about him being a veteran and a war hero and also losing all of his friends. He has lessons in friendships. He has lessons in betrayal. He has lessons in death. Those are all life lessons, experiences that are rich in learning. But if we're so wrapped up in the lessons, in the pain, we can't get the learning. And And part of the pain is a lack of conscious awareness. And so get the learning, get the lessons. And, I have a lot of compassion for our soldiers, both American and abroad, because there's a lot of misunderstandings that happen with our agencies, our government agencies, or whatever you want to call them. And it's really important that we learn our lessons. This year I learned a lot of lessons that have to do with, the government and agencies, and then learning never stops. I had an admiral once do like what I consider to be one of the most unethical. I've seen them cheat. I've seen them lie. I've seen them betray others. Like that is a normal thing in government. But when they do dirty things, like completely, totally unethical things, which I've had them do to me, and I actually had an admiral send a message about my company to others that was, it just wasn't cool. I'll just say that. And I forgave him. And I even wrote him a note saying so. And if he ever wanted to make things right within himself, I'd be willing to help him. So it's really important to clear up relationships from the past year, clear up relationships from the past your life experiences, clear up wrong where you felt you were wronged or betrayed, and all those experiences, because we all have life experience. But really, our growth in conscious expansion comes from learning those lessons, integrating them, and rising above. And that was another lesson that I learned about friendships this year. It's like, invite people to rise up with you. Not everybody is going to be conscious. Not everybody is going to want to wake up. But you can invite them to come do things that help them experience themselves in a new way. And that's true love. That's real kindness. That is humanity. And so everything is ripe for learning. Even these YouTubes, I've learned so much from doing these YouTube videos that I never would have imagined if I did not start this journey, which, by the way, I was totally guided by Spirit to do these videos every single day. And I thought, it's a leap year, 366 videos, that's a lot of videos. And you can argue with Spirit all you want, but you either listen and honor or you don't. And either way, you have consequences to not listening. So that's what I have to say about learning from life experiences and using that to be a leveraging point. And I did say yesterday when we were talking that there are a lot of quote unquote healers out there that don't do their own work. Same thing with coaches. So really align with people who are working from a place of integrity and learning their lessons. I do this every single day. I ask, what lessons do I need to learn? What do I need to expand into? What did I miss today? And I offer that to you. If you start doing that every single day, it'll be easier when you've done the past stuff, because then you won't be as triggered. And then what you'll notice is that it's just further expansion every single day. So let me see, what are you guys saying besides Merry Christmas in the chat? Good to see you all here. Excuse me. Oh, she's sleeping. I'll show you my puppy. Okay, hold on. I'm going to go get her. I'm going to see a little bit of my house. You're going to see Raw. She's chilling on the couch. Say Merry Christmas, Raw. Merry Christmas. That's Ra. Ra's a sun god. She literally is a sun god. She has a little lion hat on because she scratched her cornea. So, she's got some healing to do. Okay, let's see. Let's see what you guys are saying. Jono is saying there's definitely an opportunity in the toughest parts of life experience. That's what we're here for. We're here for that. To grow and learn. I'm missing my close friend today, but I'm growing spiritually so much. So, I have one of my dearest confidants died this year, and she was just a love in so many ways. So I understand the missing. My husband actually said her name the other day, and I just started crying. But it's okay, because people touch our hearts. It's not about missing them, it's about honoring them. So what did you learn about your friend that you're missing? What did you learn about that relationship with your friend? That will help you. That will help you a ton. Thank you, Ashish. Ashish. I hope I'm saying that right. You look full of energy. I am connected to life force. Upcycled. Hello. Good to see you. Good to see you back. It's been a while. What's meant to be, it's meant to be. Fate might mean we meet again. I don't know about that, Jono. I don't know about that one. I'll have to think about that, but I think that we are co-creators, and when we're co-creators, I have to think about that. Many, many lessons, South African boys. Please do yourself the honor of learning those lessons, and that will take the pain away. It will change pain and suffering into thriving. Not that you're not already thriving, because you're going to those raves, but something to consider. I really appreciate you, South African boys, and everything that you've been through and being here, and I'm glad to see you today on this holiday. Upcycled is saying, my closest friends are gone. They are too busy in their lives, and most have kids and are living abroad. I feel like I'm left behind. It's so interesting that you say that, because I had an experience the other day of feeling left out. I don't feel left behind, but feeling left out. And I spent a couple days trying to figure out, what was I feeling? And feeling left behind is really an interesting, or feeling left out is, what did I come to with that? I was actually, first of all, I thought it was a great awareness to have. So I think that's a great awareness, feeling left behind. But we're all on our own journey. And what I learned about feeling left out, that is a pattern, and it also is an opportunity to shift that pattern through your conscious awareness. So I was working through the morphogenetic field when I was clearing it for me, but you can have conscious awareness and start to work in the unmanifest fields, because that's where creation happens, and everything starts in the non-physical. So nobody's too busy, but Upcycled, I think it would be important for you to understand that your intention is also important. Like, how are you intending to participate with your friends who have different aspects of life? Because the ones that have kids, what I have found is that they're often wishing they didn't have kids. It's very rare that I have a mother or a father that they struggle with this inner conflict of children. So, there are ups and downs with every life experience, but you want to focus on, like, what is your learning in this, and how am I being intentional? Jono says, some people drop you if you're not useful or in service. Using others' friendships have been tough for me. Lifelong learning. If that's a lifelong learning, then you must understand that you go into agreement with being used. You go into agreement with abuse. You go into agreement. So you have to have conscious awareness to not go into agreement with things that are causing discord within you. But again, it doesn't have to be a lifelong learning, because once you learn your lessons, and maybe you have soul lessons and maybe you have life lessons about these experiences. And It looks like that experience is about betrayal as I feel into it. Sma, Merry Christmas to you. The secret behind the name South African Boys is because we are South African boys who came back home and we started the channel because why not? Love it. Why not? So there's a group of you that come on as South African boys. It's not one person, it's multiple. Raman says, hey, Kiana, you talked about listening to your guardian spirit. Do they always say the right thing? I have never been steered wrong from listening to my higher self, ever. Ever. There's been things that I've been guided to do that I didn't want to do because they were uncomfortable, they were strange, they were weird, or I thought they were weird. But I've never been steered wrong by listening to my higher self. So no, and I didn't call it my guardian spirit. I called it spirit or my higher self, however you want to call it. But our spirit is us. It's our connection to the living light. So how could that ever be wrong? And it's never the message that's inaccurate. It's maybe the interpretation. I was taught that long ago. Things that are said are never wrong. It's always missed in the interpretation. And language has been hijacked. So we have to really listen in different ways. Jono is saying, true love and respect for all, to listen, learn, forgiving, patient with yourself and others. Yeah, love thy neighbor. Hi, Ronan. Roman. Hello, Jamaica. Thank you, Upcycled. Hello, Sabra. Merry Christmas. Cheers to you. Hi, Shane. Thank you for your beautiful message. It was a beautiful thing to wake up and read your very sweet message, and it touched my heart. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the flowers. Every time you come on, you give flowers. You're so amazing. Thank you. And I'm so glad that anything that I'm sharing is touching you in a positive way. I try my best to, take whatever works for you and leave the rest behind. If it doesn't resonate, it's okay. I'm not taking it personally. Not everything I say is going to resonate. Do your best to take what you like and you could fit into your life, and little bits every single day will expand us in consciousness. Today's topic is topic number 5, part 5 for expanding in consciousness, and it's all about learning from life experiences. So even when I was coaching in corporate, every single day I used to work at an organization, and I was there every day. And every day, we go to meetings, and these meetings were boring and a drag. However, there's always learning. So every session, what went well, what didn't go well. Everything that we do has an opportunity for growth. And it's your intention that causes that to be. Thank you so much, Upcycle. Hello, Sabra. Merry Christmas to you. Thanks, Sabra. I never considered myself full of positivity and energy, so it's funny to read what other people perceive. I'm merely a reflection of you all. Hi, Mike. Good to see you. They were someone I'd like to share anything and everything with. I'll honor them by living my best life. Good. Good. Confidants are hard to come by, I believe, too. They are. There are a lot of people aren't good with listening. Upcycled says, I'm not keeping that well. I'm trying to sleep early these days. Okay, sleep is really important. Sabra is saying the year 2024 was very bad. Well, that's a judgment. We're not going to make judgments. There are some years that we have to learn hard lessons. But he wishes 2025 bring happiness. He lost my dad's elder and younger brother. They both were very close to me. I miss them a lot. Plus, career-wise, it was not that good. I think when we lose people who are close to us, one of the best ways we can honor them is to really take time to reflect on what do we need to learn from that relationship? What were the lessons? And how could we honor them or that person through the integration of the lessons? And video creator, hello. Yeah, Sabra, toxic politics. Well, politics are toxic. So we want to be humanitarians, and, not everybody is a humanitarian, Politics are created to create separation, and all separation leads us away from the truth of who we are within, which is to be integrated in spirit, to be integrated and have a personal relationship with God directly, no intermediaries. And just be the best we possibly can, And I do think, the law of cause and effect, or karma, as a lot of people refer to it, it's always at play. So we want to be fully kind, compassionate, loving, learning our lessons, and keeping it moving. Hello, M Video. Thank you. He wants subscribers. Okay, South African Boys is saying, so we're the guys who came back from war, but me personally, I own the channel from my account. Okay, but we get to post as a group. We've only posted one video so far. Okay, well, if I knew how to do group interviews, we could do a chat together and grow our channels together, and we could talk about healing from consciousness. Anyways, just an idea for the new year, if that resonates with you. I don't really know how to do a lot on YouTube. That's why I use my phone and I keep it simple. People only understand from their level of perception. Always, doesn't matter who they are. The higher self and intuition guides us as well. Correct. It's not best to judge others' opinions. Hey, we're human. We have egos. Judgment is part of how we learn, but we want to the best of our ability, really work on the ego. So the ego isn't leading the show, that our heart is what leads the path. That's part of the natural laws, is that we connect with not just our heart, but the higher aspects of our heart, because that is a portal to higher consciousness. Jono is saying, I've learned that we should all be grateful for what we have, because anything can change at any moment. Indeed, indeed. Gratitude is one of the highest and fastest ways to change your perceptions and your attitude. Gratitude can change consciousness, however, not to the same extent as learning your lessons and then being grateful for every experience, like every aspect of it. Even those things that you might perceive as painful, you want to be in gratitude for. Everything, not just some things, but everything, because life is about thriving and learning. Eric is saying yes. Grateful. Good, Jono. Eric's very grateful, and he practices it every day. He's always writing nice notes on the channel. We appreciate you, Eric. Hi, Crazy123. South African Boy says, how I carried out was the draftsman soldiers came to our school and said 17-year-olds and up can enlist. So my friends and I thought we would be war heroes since we were 17, and that was a big mistake. It's only a mistake if you failed to learn from it, South African Boys. So if I may, only if you say yes, we're going to get all the number of lessons that you have to learn. But only if I see that you say yes, Keon, at the bottom, I'll tell you how many. And I will help you get started, because you deserve that. We all deserve to learn our lessons. So if you say yes, South African boys, I'll help. Okay, Upcycled says, it was a pleasure seeing your live. I will be off now. Take care. Thank you. Crazy123 from Pakistan. Okay, Sabra. My problem is I think good for them who has been bad for me and who has harmed me. God bless them who did. Yeah, people always have what lessons too. We don't get to tell them their lessons all the time, or usually ever. I mean, there's lots of times I would like to share with people, but it's not my place, and it's not your place. We love, we forgive because that's what's best for our soul. That's what's best for our growth. That's how we expand because we're not holding on to pain. All right, Jonah's grateful to be on his spiritual path. Love it. Okay, South African Boys is saying yes. Okay. Sabra is saying, I'm grateful for God. I always thank God every morning. Yeah. Give me one more day to live. When I sleep, before sleep, I say thank God for the blessings of difference in my life. Yes. Gratitude is important. So I'm just going to tap in real quick to South African Boys. Now, don't be intimidated by the lessons. So I don't think that you've made any mistakes. It's just that you've made choices without conscious choices. You didn't know. So you kind of got sold that this was going to create you as a hero, and you're learning that's not true. So that's a lot of lessons about betrayal, South African Boy. A lot of lessons about betrayal. But that's not the one that's going to, let me see which one's going to help you the most. Okay, this is one that everybody can learn from. So I wanted to find a core lesson that would serve everybody who's listening. But this one's specific to South African boys. But everybody can learn from this lesson. Anybody who watches this video can learn from this lesson. But South African boys, you have 26 lessons, okay, about what you need to learn about following the joy in your life. So another way of saying that is, what do you need to learn about following your heart? So that, if you can get all 26 of those lessons, that is going to really help you not that you won't make some decisions that are painful, but it's going to ensure that you won't ever make those kinds of decisions or those mistakes that were misguided away from the heart. Does that make sense to you? So let me see, for example, dancing, listening to music that lifts you up would be one of your lessons. That really would, and you know, going to war is not a dance. Not that kind of dance. Okay, so that would be one of your lessons. And that's just because we have very little contact here, but hopefully that helps you. And let me know if you have any questions about how to do that. I'm moving because the sun is moving. Okay, and it's in my face. Namaste. Namaste. Like this? Oh, Marjorie, hi, good to see you. So many lessons about COVID. So many lessons, but I would say the lessons about COVID really are not about COVID. They're about consent. Consent and authority. So lessons around consent and authority. They're not about what you think. It's about people giving up their consent to an outside authority over themselves. So check that. And there's a lot of, I can't say that one on here because there's everybody's going to have different number of lessons around authority and consent. But I would say that one too, Marjorie, is Marjorie from Canada, if I remember correctly. That one is one that people really don't like learning, because the ego mind does not like to look at things that they gave consent to that they wish they wouldn't. But there is a natural law of consent, and people defer their consent often. Then they call it a mistake, South African boys. Consent would be another one of your life lessons, and probably soul lesson as well. So really huge. Go get those lessons, Marjorie. Intuit how many lessons you think you have around the law of consent. I'm going to guess you have close to 30 to 35. So quite a bit. It's a significant amount. So this would be about lessons about, so one lesson that would be applied to everybody on here is that nobody has the authority over your body but you. You are the authority of your body. That is a lesson that needs to be integrated physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Hopefully that's helpful, Marjorie. Okay, Danny, you can go to Kiana.com and book a session if you like what I'm doing. A personal session is far more different than what we're doing here. But I would love to have anybody who feels like they resonate with what I'm doing to check in. It's very different in person. It's much more on target. But here, it's just YouTube, you see? Kiana, here we are getting your lessons for free. I love those. You're welcome. Only with authorization, Jono. I don't tap into people's energy just to tap in. And I wasn't going in. I was just asking on his behalf. But I didn't do it without authorization. I do not tap into other people's field without authorization. Sabra says, I love free lessons. When you need to pay them, you need to think. There is an exchange, and you get a different quality of information when you pay. Quality meaning it's in person, it's personal. Here I'm just speaking in general. Yes, Marjorie, consent and authority. And Canada has my husband's from Canada. We have a lot of people on here from Canada. And I will say that Canada is not what people have thought. And even for Canadians, I follow a lot of what's going on in the government with Canada, and it's not all good. It is not all good. So you are the authority of your body. Sorry, I'm trying to navigate the sun here. I think I need to scoot back just a tad. Okay, let's see. Consent and authority. True, we consent to so much that we felt unnecessary in hindsight. Well, I didn't. You are the one. Sabra says, COVID changed my life in the lockdown, but you made money. Yes, you're very wise, Sabra. Good for you, Sabra. Not a lot of people came out feeling freedom from that experience. Cynthia Vasquez, how many lessons you have about what? That's a very broad question. We all have experiences, okay? So in January, I'm going to be doing a whole, it's going to be multiple days, but I'm going to be doing soul lessons. We have soul lessons. We have monad lessons. So the soul is the feminine aspect. The monad is the masculine aspect. And then we have life lessons. The lessons are just abound, y'all. And then we have lessons just because we have not learned from our past cycles. And it's really important. Sabra says, one lesson would be nothing is permanent, hence stay humble. You are right. I really have admired, like I follow certain people on these social media platforms, not so much because I like their content, but I like their delivery. Like there's certain people who I really like how they speak. Like there's one lady I follow, she just is so authentically real herself. And then there's another person that's a really good orator and she's really good at speaking. And so I learn from these other people who are doing it. But I have another person that I follow that they're just so humble and kind, and yet they just deliver a punch, and it is a punch. Marjorie is saying, thank you, Kiana. She did not consent and was vocal about her perception about what happened a few years back. My sister's a nurse and refused to discuss it. Yeah, it's very difficult. XYZ, hello. Yeah, Marjorie, you don't need to talk about your personal business with other people. Since when was your medical stuff supposed to ever be public? Until this happened, it was never really a thing. They made it a thing because they wanted to create division. Gosh, you guys, the sun is really, it's really a thing today. But I'm glad, kudos to you. But it's okay to honor your sister and her path as well, you know? Hi, Tammy. Yay, Tammy. Happy, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Good to see you. Oh, Air Emirates is a good flight. I've never been on it. Hello, on Kush. Good to see you here. Tammy, how are things in Oregon, right? I'm moving this around, sorry. Okay, y'all, well, I've been on here for about 40 minutes. We were talking about using life experiences to grow and expand in consciousness. We must go get those lessons. So I'm curious, South African boys, are you still here? I'm curious about the creators you follow because you're so intelligent. They're not, they're nobody I would recommend, okay? Because when I'm listening, my husband's like, what the hell are you listening to? I listen to people for different reasons, you know, so I would find the ones that resonate for you, because the ones that resonate for me, I promise you, do not resonate for my husband. So I would never recommend these. But I think, and they're not the most marketed, I'll tell you that. I am not one that likes a lot of marketing and hoopla. I like real. I like people who keep it real. So South African boys, are you still here? If so, let me know. If not, okay. So towards the end of the year, you always do a year in reflection. So what you could do is look at your year in reflection of just this year. Sorry, I don't have any water. Excuse me, I didn't bring my tea today. Look at the things that caused you the most pain, and that will be lessons, right? And also look at the things that stood out to you the most, and there will usually be lessons with that. But learning your life lessons are hugely important for expanding in consciousness. And really, you can't go to the next level and have new patterns be created if you're still just repeating the old patterns. I know, that would be great, Marjorie. I've worked with so many military people. A lot of people find that surprising. But South African boys, I really, since he came on here, he really touched my heart in so many ways because of the situation, you know. So young to make those decisions and not understanding, you know, the politics at play, you know, and also really just a leveraging of the ego mind for young boys to be heroes. I mean, he's a hero for just living. He's a hero for just being alive. All of us have been in so many different crazy situations that we have strengthened that muscle of being a heroine or a hero. I do not drink black coffee. All right, y'all, it's been about 45 minutes. I will come back tomorrow for another video of the Being in Sync 366 video series. Tomorrow, this was part 5, so we now have 5 parts. Now, if you guys are really want to expand, if you even did one of the exercises that I presented in any of these last videos, you are going to expand your heart, you are going to expand your mind, you are going to open some of those closed perceptions. You don't have to do everything I recommend. There's been so many videos, you couldn't possibly do everything I recommend, but it's like 1 degree shifts regularly that will keep you on track. So anyways, I wish you all a happy holidays, sending you lots of love. Namaste. I'm Kiana Sage. I guide people to peace. If you're interested in more, you can find me at kiana.com, and I will talk to you soon. Happy holidays, y'all. See you later. Bye. Thank you, everybody. Good to see you.